Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys and action figures. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of toys, action figures, or pop culture in general, please consider subscribing to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I'll be opening a new toy, well, new to me, as I've recently acquired it, and I'll be sharing that process here with you on YouTube, fellow fans and internet trolls. Today I'm opening Battle Armor He-Man from Masters of the Universe Origins. As I've discussed on this channel a few times in the past, probably my favorite toy line on the pegs right now. Though as I record this, I will confess that I went to Target just today to see what was new. I haven't been to Target or Walmart for toys really since McFarlane Toys released the Dark Knight Returns series, the four action figures that assembled the horse that I opened here a few weeks ago. I kind of figured I'd give the toy aisles some time to reset, and they have in some ways with the release of action figures from the Batman movie, and in anticipation of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. There's some new stuff out there, but when I went to the He-Man section of the toy aisle, the Target near me must have had 15 Land Sharks, 10 Stridors, a couple of Wind Raiders. That's just in the vehicle. That's just on the vehicle shelf. The action figures themselves, some of them are on sale because you could tell that they've been there a while. And that's not just Origins. There are two other lines of He-Man toys available right now. Netflix's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon, of course, has its own line and its unique sculpts. And then the Masterverse line, which is now loosely inspired by the Masters of the Universe show that Kevin Smith helped write and create. Two additional lines of Masters of the Universe toys, with this to me kind of being the cornerstone as it recreates the classic look of the original Masters of the Universe line. Crazy. I fear we are at the cusp of oversaturation, and that pretty soon, as these stores won't be able to move product, they'll simply no longer order new stuff. I really hope that's not the case, because I've seen preview images for upcoming toys, and I'm really excited to get a Roton in my collection, and some other characters, Mantenna, and other members of the Evil Horde. I don't think we've even touched the Snake Men yet. There's a lot to cover, so please, Mattel, maybe pump the brakes on some of your inventory. I never thought I'd say that as a collector, because you want to find this stuff easily, but maybe canvas the market a little bit and just know how much inventory these stores really need, because I don't know if anybody that's collecting this stuff in my market still needs a land shark, and so you're going to put 15 or 20 of them on the shelf at a nearby Target. I don't know, it seems like a lot, and I don't understand the market or the industry of toy distribution enough to speak to that any more thoroughly than just that fan feedback I gave. So let's dive into this. I had the wherewithal this episode to grab my original Battle Armor He-Man off the shelf. So there he is. I do believe this is the very Battle Armor He-Man I had as a kid. Some of my figures were replaced over time through eBay lots and through secondhand purchases. I think I replaced his arm at one point, and you could tell that it's very loose. I think that this part of his, it's loose, but it's not coming off. I think this part of his torso, this peg here, has been stripped somewhat. So any arm I put on there is that loose. But that just speaks to the fact that, again, this is the core of this figure is the original figure that I had. And to my delight, the battle armor still holds. So that speaks to the craftsmanship of these early action figures. And of course, with just but a touch, He-Man is wounded. Okay, so with the context of this wonderful original figure, the first variant of any character I probably ever had, I'm going to open this reincarnation of Battle Armor He-Man. And there's that beautiful card art on the back. where He-Man and Man-at-Arms are up against Merman, it looks like, in some sort of Eternian swamp. And the other figures in this wave, you can see how long this has been on my shelf. There's some dust dangling here from the corners of the package. But yeah, very cool. The card art on this can't be beat. And again, I will tag the artist in the description below so you can follow him on Instagram. Axel Jimenez, I believe is how you would say his name. And I just absolutely love his portrayal of these characters on the back. And I really wish that he illustrated the mini comics that came with these toys, because they have been sorely lacking in my opinion. Another great feature with these deluxe figures. You know, I'm not crazy about replacement hands, but to see the original He-Man's head here is fun. Look at that. The hair is a little brighter, a little more blonde, but that might just come with the age of this figure. So I could replace this figure's head with the classic He-Man head, or I could do so with the original He-Man from this line. I honestly like these sculpts. I like these expressions. I think they add a bit of fun and personality to these characters. Just based on my initial impression, one of my biggest critiques would be the width of the battle damage area. I feel like on the original figure you have so much more real estate covered on his chest with that barrel, and here it seems a little diminutive, and I wish it covered the width of his chest more. But let's see how it feels once the figure is open, because I'm going in right now with very little preciousness given to the packaging, as the point of this whole series is to just open it. And I'm finally doing so 7 minutes into the video. But here we go. Now, I did open Battle Armor Skeletor, I believe is my first video. So immediately I see the mini comic here, and I believe I've read it. Oh, and I was generally unimpressed. Now, these figures also come with this little paper insert that offer instruction for the accessories, and in some cases they explain that parts of the figure can be removed and that they're interchangeable to create your own characters. Okay, so He-Man is out. The accessories are out. And that replacement head, that's in there. The replacement head is coming out. Okay, here we go. There it is. Very interesting. Now, if you recall, longtime fans of Masters of the Universe, in the 80s, there were pencil toppers that came out. And they were basically just these heads with a hole in the bottom so you could stick a pencil in. And I believe I have at least the Skeletor pencil topper over there. So it's fun to see just He-Man's head here, and it reminds me of that piece of merchandising. But can it be? Oh, for a second I thought that maybe this He-Man would just be easy to remove from this bubble. But no, he is restrained by this plastic band. Not so strongly, though, that he doesn't just come right out. I don't, so this was so ineffective in keeping him in the packaging that I don't know what the point of it is. And I just hate these. It's just extra plastic that we don't need, so more trash. This isn't really a rubber band, per se. It's just taunt, I think, by the nature of it. So I don't know the point. And here's another one here at his feet. He felt so comfortably nestled in this, for lack of a better description, plastic throne here. I don't know why these are necessary. I'd love some commentary below, fellow action figure collectors. Are you as peeved by these as I am? Am I making too big a deal of the point? Let me know. But here he is. Battle Armor He-Man. And I feel the joints are very stiff right away. More stiff than some of the other Origins figures I've opened. But there he is. I do like the hoop on his back to store either his axe or sword. There's the axe. It lacks some of the detail of the original He-Man axe from 1982 or whatever. And then the power sword, of course, which is a cool... Oh, no, it is a half sword. Forgive me, it is a half sword here. I know one He-Man incarnation from the Origins line comes with a whole sword, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that one does. Okay, so I'm messing with the legs a little bit just to see if I'm going to be able to get them to stand here. And there is just a little bit of resistance, which is surprising. So I don't feel as confident in his ability to stand as I have every other Origins figure I've opened. But there he is, standing on his own. And now, the test. The chest. How easy is this barrel roll? So the first one clicked. Okay, quite effectively. The second one also clicked. And now, if a villain were to punch him in the chest, the damage. And again, there it is. One more time, who knows what will happen? The whole armor falls off and he's completely exposed. But it works. And I feel like it works as effectively as the original I have here. But here's a replacement hand so he can hold both weapons if I wanted him to, the axe and the sword. That would be cool, but I'm not going to go through that trouble because instead I have here this head. I'm going to try to replace that. And I hate this, as you guys know if you watch. I just feel like anything could break as I do this. And I've watched fellow action figure collectors that on video have broken their toys just trying this. So as cool as this is, it's not a feature that I'm absolutely in love with or that makes or breaks my opinion of any given toy. But I will say that it's pretty special once you put on that original head. And there is a likeness to this. Let's see if I can get his chest piece to stay here for this. Because there we go, the side by side. This character is significantly brighter, and in fact the trim of his boots has that orange tone or tint that was indicative of the original Mark Taylor design for He-Man, I believe. Okay, let's put his arms down so it doesn't look like he's trying to raise the roof here. But the axe goes very easily in his hand. Something I love about these figures is the ease in which they interact with their accessories. Now this is a blast that you could apply to the sword and create like a shooting effect. And I don't see that there's any specific way that it's supposed to go on. Oh, maybe like that. And it's cool. It's different. You know, you could use this for the transformation sequence if you recreate that at home. Prince Adam transforming into He-Man. Or it's just him blasting an enemy. But let's see now if he's holding that, how steady he is with it. And what's interesting is, the band here that I presume was always applied to these swords for support, because no depiction of the He-Man... Well, I take that back. I suppose several depictions of the He-Man Power Sword included that, but only because the toy did. Like, an actual sword, or at least the actual Power Sword, just has the handle. So, and I know there are styles of swords that have whatever this piece would be called, but I think the general idea is that this is the Power Sword, and this piece is simply a construct for the toys. So, if I were to put this in He-Man's hand, you would think that the curved part of the sword, not the flat back that kind of betrays this is half of the Power Sword, you would think that curved part would be here, and it would be a part of the sword that I would put in. I don't know, I just had an initial impression there that wasn't going to snap in as easily, and it did, but, and it looks cool now that I have it there. I don't know, the half sword, I dig it, but it's an odd part of He-Man's history because it wasn't something that maintained through the mythology of Masters of the Universe. It kind of tapered off after a while. That Skeletor was trying to acquire the sword. Skeletor was always consistently trying to get into Castle Grayskull, but I never really saw him as somebody that was clamoring for the sword all the time. I do like what the Mike Young interpretation of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe offered, as far as Skeletor having a sword that detached into two parts for battle. I thought that was a really cool way of reinterpreting this concept, if you watch that that reboot in the early 2000s. But there he is, and freestanding with that bolt. So you could totally reenact the transformation sequence from Prince Adam to He-Man with this additional accessory. I find that to be very cool, and I may include that in his display on my shelf. Pop the axe in the back, figure's practically complete. I do have this extra He-Man head. Maybe I'll put that on top of a pencil, and then I'll have this this hand, you know, which indicates I give this figure a thumbs up. But as far as now what to do with this extra hand, thumbs down. I got a box of hands in my closet, like I'm some sort of a maniac or lunatic. And yeah, they're little plastic hands, but it's just weird. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm a big fan of this figure, and I'm looking forward to opening more Masters of the Universe Origins right here on this channel in my series called Just Open It. I'll catch you next time.